That was me.
Untimely death, fear and vast emptiness await us as we travel to Merseyside.
Holy shit!
And this week I've brought my team to the biggest building we will have ever investigated. Welcome to Most Haunted and Cammell Laird.
The site has seen shipbuilding for over 200 years. William Laird, a Scottish entrepreneur, oversaw its expansion to include 5 dry docks, and this forms the core of the present yard. At the beginning of the 1900s, Laird Brothers, as it had become, merged with a Sheffield steelmaker, Charles Cammell & Co., to become the world-renowned company of Cammell Laird. As well as building liners for Cunard, including the Mauretania, the yard constructed many craft for the Royal Navy, from submarines to aircraft carriers. In its working life, it launched well over 1,100 vessels into the Mersey. Sadly, its glory days of shipbuilding are gone, and with its officers left as though the occupants evaporated into thin air, it is little wonder that many tales abound that defy explanation, from sudden drops in temperature, strange sights and sounds, and reported sightings of dark figures who seem to be able to walk through walls and haunt the vast expanse of the yard.
With so many places and such a large area to investigate, we thought we'd get a head start. And so I asked Kieran and Ian Cash to spend last night alone and in the dark here. And this is what happened.
The one thing I can tell you about this place is it's very easy to get lost.
Thanks.
That's all right. Should we just explore down here a bit? I want something to happen, basically. I always do. On any investigation, I want something to happen. Don't look through the camera for a minute and just look at it with your naked eye. I mean, hold the camera roughly. Is there anybody in here with us? Is there anybody here with us now? What was that? Was that? Did you just move?
I panned my arm like that. Just calm down, mate.
I'm all right. Is that us echoing, or did you hear those voices?
What?
Was that our voices echoing?
I don't know.
I could have sworn I heard talking.
The problem is with this place is that we're going to get an absolute load of silly noises out there, aren't we? But like that. But it'll just be the wind shaking the walls and stuff. There's that much metal machinery on walls, isn't there?
Yeah, are you stealing my job now, are you? That's exactly what I should be saying.
Sorry, okay,
I'm looking around, hearing all these noises, and you're saying, well, of course, we're going to be getting these silly noises, but there's me going, what was that? What was that? This is Ian and Kieran signing off from Alone in the Dark.
Here in the construction hall, the ghostly figure of a man in blue overalls wearing a flat cap has been seen many times. He doesn't confine himself to one area, as he's seen all over this massive structure. But who is he, and who are the many nameless spirits that haunt Cammell Laird? We have 24 hours to find out.
One afternoon, one of my colleagues had just come from the kitchen area, and as he's walking through the corridor, seeing a lady, an old lady walking through, which is unusual because we normally have a lot of business guys in. As he got to the reception area, no one there at all.
Many strange happenings are said to occur here in this corridor. Many figures have been witnessed wandering its length, and one has been seen moving from the fax room through the wall and into the boardroom. Some people complain of being touched by unseen hands. One employee was so shaken by the experience that she quickly left the corridor and entered the boardroom, only to see two dark shadows emerging through the wall. These officers were specifically constructed for the design and engineering teams working on two of Britain's nuclear submarines and would have been a hive of activity in their day. But now they're nothing more than a sad reminder of what went before. But this place isn't as deserted as it would first have you believe, as not all the ex-employees seem to have left. Dark figures have been witnessed slowly walking around this whole area. A strong presence has also been felt, and the staircases leading up from the ground floor are thought to have an entity that opens and shuts doors with regular occurrence.
Given the nature of Cammell Laird and its history, what would Dr. Kieran O'Keefe expect of the coming investigation?
So Kieran, here we are in another horrible location. It really isn't pleasant at all. I'm not looking forward to tonight.
No, and also it's going to be an investigation of two halves. We've essentially got two buildings that look very, very different, but on their own they are very, very eerie. I think it's going to be a very scary investigation on the whole.
Some of the apparitions that are actually seen in the office buildings, they're quite modern apparitions, aren't they?
I'm not surprised that they're modern apparitions. They may be actually associated with this building. What is more surprising is the history of the land on which this building is. I mean, we're talking about the grounds of kind of a monastic area. There was a priory here very early on in history, and so you would have thought that some of the apparitions may be monks.
In the construction building, it's particularly eerie because it's such a huge, vast space, and the weather conditions are atrocious outside. I mean, it's gale force winds, the doors are rattling.
The problem for me with the construction hall is if there is a sound, because of the vastness of it, it's going to be very difficult to locate the source of it. And I guarantee that we're going to get door slamming tonight.
I have to say, we've both been here before. We did an investigation for our book. It's a frightening, frightening place to be. I did it once, I couldn't go anywhere on my own, so I just know that we're in for one heck of a night.
Definitely.
The time had come for David Wells to give his initial insight on Cammell Laird. Would his connection with the Royal Navy give him particular affinity with the shipyard?
He's trying to tell someone what's happened. Graham, if you are here, if there's a spirit or if any astrals here, could you make a sound? That was me.
If you need our help, we need yours.
He's right here. He's absolutely right here. Ollie!
The Most Haunted team have come to Merseyside to investigate the supposed paranormal activity at the Cammell Laird shipyard. And David Wells began his initial reading in the old administrative offices.
Well, this is comfortable. This doesn't look scary, does it?
No, it doesn't. It looks a bit like a waiting room or something.
Yeah?
Looks can be deceptive though, can't they?
Oh, right.
Shall we go in here?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Reason I brought you all here today. It's a bit like that, isn't it? You've got to try, or the obvious prompts, you've got to try and get below. I'm trying just to get to people, not places. Places aren't interesting me. It's a very... When you go onto the astral level here, it's very whispery. It's very... very quiet, very shadowy. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like a... there's nothing like none of that going on. It's all a bit it's almost like when they're moving, I can see them moving around and it's very quick and they're gone, very shadowy and they've gone.
So who is it that's been causing phenomena in here?
There are two characters that I'm aware of. One is coming from further down, which is a female character moving up and down the corridor. There's one male figure. He's quite a dominant figure and quite portly, and I'm not sure what time he's from. Maybe early 19th century. He's quite portly, very well dressed.